Alright, y'all. So after you got your ODR imported, you know what I mean, aka your MLO, what you gonna do next is you gonna go ahead and you know what I mean, do the right click on this. You know what I mean, go to material, you know what I mean, hit that transparency right there. You know what I mean, you're gonna scroll down into it. Then you're gonna zoom into this baby. So what I'm about to do right now is I'm about to add in a couch and a couch and shit. You know what I mean? I'm about to add in some couch. I know in a previous video y'all might have seen that I deleted this, but for you know what I mean, the purposes of the video, you know what I mean, we gonna just keep it like how it is and we're gonna go from there. You know what I mean? I know that shit look kinda weird, you know what I mean? To fix this, what you do is you go back up here, you know what I mean? You go back to the standard and you just hit high quality. You know, bow, and there you go. It's back. It's back looking good. You know what I mean? All right, so we about to add in our other pieces. So, bam. So what we do is we're gonna make sure we bring up our GIMS material. I mean, hit the GIMS. GIMS should be loaded up for you. All right. So once you got your GIMS up, and I mean, hit import on the GIMS material. Go to the file that you know that the ODRs is in. So this is what an ODR look like. If my screen ain't showing you, it should have a file and it say ODR at the end of it. You know what I mean? At this point, when you got into 3DSMAX, you should already know how to get your ODR. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm looking for this table and a couch. So bam, I'm gonna do them one at a time. You know what I mean? Import them one at a time. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can do it, but if you got multiple different textures, you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So import your text, everything in one at a time. You know what I mean? You're going to back out of that, say export. You know what I mean? You could close it too. You know what I mean? You could close your GIMS material. Don't be scared to close your GIMS. You know what I mean? Use your scroll to go up and find your piece. If you can't find your piece that you're looking for, like your furniture and shit, like I was able to find mine right here. So if you're not able to find that, you know what I mean? All you do is click up here, tools, you go to tools, hit scene explorer. You know what I mean? It's gonna bring up this whole scene of everything that you got inside of your scene. So I got it. So what I'm about to do now is I'm about to just move this inside my store. Y'all see this? You know what I mean? Just moving it in the store, you know what I mean? Navigating yourself back to where you want it at, you know what I mean? The next key is, you know what I mean, knowing how to navigate this, you know what I mean? If you, at this point, you should know how to use 3DSMAX, you know what I mean? If you getting into 3DSMAX and getting this deep, you should already be knowing how to use 3DSMAX. I shouldn't be having to tell you. All right, so me, I already know that in my store, I got something else in this corner right here. You know what I mean? I got refrigerators right here, but I'm gonna go ahead and move them when I get in game. You know what I mean? Not in game, but when I get into co-worker, because you gotta use all these programs in order to make this shit work. All right, so once you got your ODR import, you know what I mean? You're gonna go up on it, zoom in up on it, make sure it's level with the flooring. You know what I mean? You wanna always make sure you level. So once you know that you level, you know what I mean, you feel comfortable with it, you just let it go right there. So and then, well, the next step that we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and press this right here. It's called modifier. We're gonna click that modifier. You see how, like I was telling you, the previous game, previous video, it got game mesh, edible mesh. Your models gotta have the game mesh and edible mesh. You know what I mean? That's what makes it a model. You know what I mean? And over here you got your high and you got your model. All of these play a difference in how your model will show in game or if it's going to export out right. So bam, so I'm going to go ahead and click back on edible mesh. Bam, I'm going to click back on polygon. Now my furniture is in here. Now I don't believe this is the color of it though. You know what I mean? I don't really think this the color type shit. So let me zoom in some more. You know what I mean? If you want to ever check the color of them, you just go to your click the whole thing from scene. I mean, click the whole thing. Not that. You go back to game mesh. Go back to game mesh. If you want to check the material on it, you know what I mean? Then you go back to your GIMS. Because I got to make sure this shit is right. So, bam. I'm going to go back to my GIMS. Big baby. Now you're going to hit that material editor. And it's going to tell you what all materials you got on your furniture. So, bam. This ain't nothing there. Ain't nothing there. I mean, ain't nothing there for real. This ain't. Let's hit embed. See if anything pop up. Nah, so ain't nothing there. So I gotta add these textures on here myself. We'll get into that on another video. But for right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add these props in and place them. So I'm about to rotate it. I mean, you want to be careful on how you like move this, cause it'll definitely be some messed up stuff going on, man. So, bam, make sure, like I said, you get it good and even. You don't want it seeking through the floor or nothing like that, but you don't want it floating, so you gotta pay attention to how you moving. So, bam, you get this way. See how that look like it's in the wall. That don't even look like it's out on the floor. So, but we want this baby on the floor. Wow. So I'm gonna move this over some more, cause like I said, I got refrigerators in here. So, bam, that's going right there. You know what I mean? Like I was saying in the previous video, like, don't worry if your 3DSMAX get the skipping and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Let it do what it do. If it takes a little bit more than, depending on what you're doing, and you know what I mean, you know what I mean, do it your opinion. So, bam, I got that added right there. So now I need my other stuff in here. You know what I mean? All right, Val, here we go. Let's see. So the next thing we doing is we going back to our material edit. I mean, like, you put me our GIMS material. So like I say, you want to import everything in one at a time. If you got only those all in one folder, you can do the grab the materials and such like that. But we're gonna hit import again. I mean, just pretty much we're doing the process again. You know what I mean? This is repeated processes. So bang, the next thing that I want to add in here is this sofa. So bam. Alright, so once you get here, if you see my screen and it say, you know what I mean? So you're gonna click on the sofa material. Bow. Everything should load up. You know what I mean? With it being exported right. So this is how you able to paint like your walls, you know what I mean? If you want them to be different, you know, and this is where you will color your furnitures, and you know, this is another way to add in props other than Code Walker, you know. So I mean, so just be patient. Like my furniture that came in, and like I was saying, I mean, always check up. You can close that, you know what I mean? Go to your tools. File, hit scene selector. You know what I mean? If it don't show up, that's because I already had it up and I ain't go to it. You know what I mean? Just click it again. It's going to pop up valve. You click on this. You know what I mean? Bam, you get to your model. That's the high right there. You need a high for every model. You know what I mean? Valve. Here it go right here. So now I'm going to move this in place. You know, so we're going to put this in place. You know what I mean? We're going to push this inside the building. Oh, shit. Don't ever move your building. You know what I mean? If your building ever moved or you felt like it moved, start over. You know what I mean? And again, like I say, if you don't know where that piece is, click on the scene selector. You know what I mean? And on your time, when you on your free time and all that shit, you know what I mean? Play around with this system. You know, learn a lot of shit from it because it's a lot that can be learned. 3DSMAX can do a lot. Can take you a long way with creating your MLOs and other stuff. So bam, we're gonna make sure we get this in place. That's what I want this in place. Cause like I said, I'm gonna make this a real dope spot. And then like with placing, you know what I mean? Anytime something moves, always control Z. Always control Z. If you don't control Z, then when you go to put this in game, you right back at square one where starting over exists. So, you know what I mean? Avoid yourself from having to keep starting over. You know what I mean? So, hopefully this reach out to somebody and help them on their journey through making MLOs and adding in stuff to shorten your journey from having to look and dig too deep on how much it takes to do this stuff. You know what I mean? So, for my purposes, if I ever were to figure out what I'm doing, you know, I got these videos as well. So, oh yeah, so remember, like I said, watch how you putting this on the ground because you could be putting it in the ground and it won't show up right in game. You know what I mean? So you get into your angles. You see if this is even placed how you want it, you know, like, because I placed this one time, and then sometimes you also got to keep in mind everything you place, FiveM won't stream. You know what I mean? The reason I'm placing this in through this way is because it didn't stream through FiveM from me adding it in as a prop and not OpenIV, but CodeWalker. I was adding it in through CodeWalker, and it did not show in game. So this is another way that you can add your props in game without CodeWalker. This is the 3DSMAX way. You know what I mean? Make sure you get your angles. The angles that you viewing your models in and your build in all makes a difference because if you at a messed up angle, you may click something and miss what you done clicked. You know what I mean? So we gonna slide this over some more. It look like it's too close to that dough. Let's see. All right, we're gonna scoot this back a little bit more. About right there.